Sometimes my daily driver gets behind on maintenance, and so unfortunately I got to work on the daily driver today. I'm going to show you how to do the brake flush on a 2010 Mazda 3. Check it out. This is the brake fluid reservoir right here. I've always made sure it had oil in it or fluid in it, but now it's time to replace it. This is the minimum line there, and you can kind of see the fluid moving a little bit. It's getting close to the minimum. The max is up here at the top. That's the max line right there. This car takes DOT3 brake fluid, and I have this digital tester by King Bolin, and it's going to measure how much water content is in the brake fluid. Brake fluid is hygroscopic. It just naturally wants to absorb water. And too much water is bad for the brake fluid because it lowers its boiling point. I can show a chart right here. Strong brake fluid that's out of the can is much higher than like 400, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it gets water in it, that boiling temperature can go down to like as low as 200. 212 is the water boiling point. So that affects your braking because when you stop your car, you're putting heat in the brakes. It's not uncommon for the brake temperature to get well over 300, 400 degrees. And if you have water in your brake fluid, it's turning into gas, and that makes the brake pedal spongy, and it can affect your braking performance. So I highly recommend you change your brake fluid every 2 years or less. This will tell us exactly how much water's in it right now. The only problem I have with this now is this brake reservoir is such a unique shape. It's got an obstruction in the top. It's got a baffle in there. So I cannot insert this and contact the fluid. So in order to test this, we'll have to take a little bit of brake fluid from underneath the car at the caliper area. I'm on the left rear wheel right now. I should be on the right side because it's furthest from the brake pedal, but I don't have good access over there for the camera. All right, go down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. So this is what we pumped out of the car. We just had a guy in the driver's seat pumping the brake pedal, and that extracted enough fluid here so we can now test it with the brake tester. This is already set to the DOT3 setting, and it reads water percentage on the right. So when we dunk it in here, we should see a number. And you can see how the color is pretty brown. 1.5 or 1%. We'll put this in some fresh brake fluid and see how it differs. This is brand new Wagner brake fluid DOT3. So let's crack one of these open, see what we get. And you want to put the lid on these things right away too, because it's absorbing moisture now that it's open to air. So I'm getting, even with the brand new bottle, I'm getting the same pretty much 1% reading. Take it out, put it in. So like I said, brand new, still showing 1%. So this is sometimes useful, but other times you just want to go on a regular maintenance schedule and replace the brake fluid after about 2 years. That's probably your best bet. So the way to flush the fluid is just to keep adding more new fluid, and then we'll pump the fluid, the old fluid, out the back of the car. So never want this to go empty, otherwise you're sucking in air to the system. So we'll keep this topped up at all times, and then Gabe here is gonna pump the pedal, and we'll just keep pulling fluid out the back of the car. Do the right rear, and then we'll do the left rear, and then we'll do the right front, left front. Down. Up. Down. Up. Okay, this one's done. Ideally, you would suck the fluid out of the reservoir before you add new fluid, but the way this reservoir is designed, you really can't put a syringe or anything in there, so you just have to keep adding new fluid. We finally got clear fluid out of the right rear, so now work on the left rear. Up, down. So I'm just now starting to get clear fluid all the way out here to the left front. So let's do one more. Go down, up, down, up. Okay, that's it. This is how much I pumped out of the car. That's like 30 ounces or something. So I had to go into a reserve supply of brake fluid. But I'm now going to test this again to see one last chance on this meter, see if it'll work. I said this is .3. I thought maybe the water would rise to the top, but I'm still getting the same result. I'm getting 1%, which I know for a fact this is pretty bad brake fluid. Just look at it. So I would have expected it goes even higher than 2% or in the caution there, 3-4%. But it could be that because I live in a dry climate, maybe it just doesn't absorb much water. But either way, I'm really glad I replaced it.